See, welcome back to An Old Man in a Frying Pan. I've got some cheese grated, I've got some garlic grated, and over here in the pot, I've got some tomatoes, baby Romano tomatoes simmering away with basil, onion, and a bit of garlic. And they're getting ready for gnocchi. I've got a potato boiling in the water. It's almost ready to come on out. When it's out, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use this device here. It's called a ricer, and I'm going to rice the potato right onto the board and let it cool. Then I'll begin to add flour only to it until it's more like a dough. And once that hits that stage, we're ready to start rolling to make our gnocchi. But you got to let the potato cool and steam, rice it, let it cool and steam before adding the flour. So here we go on another episode of An Old Man in a Frying Pan. I managed to peel away the potato a little bit of a layer at a time using my fork, and I'm going to go ahead and use the ricer. So hang on a second, we'll get that going. Okay, let's get the ricer going, and we'll see what happens. So I just put the potato in the ricer, like so, and we're just going to squeeze her through. And you can see it's still pretty hot and steaming, but that's okay. So the rest of the potato goes in. Close her up. And here we go, another shot with the ricer. Clean it off. And you can see we've got a fair amount of potato just from one potato. So it doesn't take much to feed a family here. So we're gonna let that cool and we'll come back to it. It's been sitting here about 5 minutes and I just made a well in the middle. Now, if you're gonna, with this amount of potato, you're not gonna add an egg to it. If you did anything, you'd add maybe an egg yolk, but they recommend with small potatoes, just add the flour and that's it. So I worked the dough until I got it into a log here. It's not sticky. It's got a fair amount of, not a lot of flour in it, but enough to make it not sticky. It feels good. So I'm just letting it sit to rest for a bit to see what happens. I'm gonna cut a piece off. I'll cut it into thirds like that, and then start rolling it. So what I'm trying to do is get it into a bit of a log. We're going to roll it out until it's nice and thin. It's starting to thin out a bit to about the size of the gnocchis we're looking for. Okay, I'm actually pretty happy with that. It's a good size. So then I start cooking it, cutting it into gnocchis. And you see you got nice little pieces here. They're perfect, actually. I'll leave that one just like that. Now, the hard part for me is this. Doing this. It's getting a nice little indent on it without making it. I don't have a gnocchi board, which I think I'd like to get. And there we go. Not too hard. They say keep it soft. Otherwise they get hard in taste. So just nice and easy. Until they're ready. There we go. We got a little bit to help hold the sauce, right? That's all it's about. go. So I'll start with the rest. There's my gnocchi ready to go into the water, and it's I added a little bit of flour to stop it from sticking together, and we'll see how they, when you put them in the boiling water, once they float, they're ready. Got them into the boiling water, and they got to start to go, and once they float, I'll pull them out and I'll throw them into the saucepan. Okay, the gnocchi is floating, and I'm just going to use my big scoop here. Let's get them out. And then I'm just going to take them over to here and throw them in the saucepan. There they go. Now they recommend adding a little bit of your water, which I'm going to do. And there we go. So there it is. It's ready to be tossed around. And I'm going to let it cook in here for a minute or so until the sauce coats them evenly. And I'm going to add a bit of cheese to this, and away we go. They're going to be delish. I've added cheese to it, and she's ready to go. And I tasted one, and they're as tender as can be. That trick was don't add an egg to it when you have a small amount of potato like this. And this is perfect for one person or two with some other side dishes. That's another episode of Old Man in a Frying Pan. So I hope you enjoyed this. It's a bit different than anything I've done before. And it actually, the trick to it is to make sure when you get your potato ready, make sure you dry it a little bit. So and don't add an egg unless you've got lots of potato. And it really does make a difference. And so again, this is an Old Man in a Frying Pan saying thank you, and remember to subscribe to my channel.